Tesla fail. So one of the most headaches that I've ever had with this godforsaken car. So every now and then I have a little warning and a message and all that. And for the couple of weeks, it had a warning about how it was going to have possible range reduction and charge reduction if I didn't get the car serviced on time. Now it said that the tires needed to be changed, but the tires had about 1/8 of an inch left before the wear mark was level with the rest of the tread contact patch. And I figured, okay, I have enough life, what does this computer know? Happens to be that the computer uses the front and rear tire sensor geometry, whatever, ABS, and it determines how much wear the tire has been going through. So the front tires are new. Now here's another issue. I had replaced the rear tires. I didn't use the recommended EV tires. I used some cheapy, whatever, just try to save some money, right? Wrong move. First one, wrong move. The brand new tires in the rear had caused ABS to kick in. And I have a video of it, which I'll probably put in right now. So I drive this route every morning. And every time I go into a curve, I'm not even full throttle, I'm not even part throttle, I'm lifting off to slow the car down. And the traction control kicks in really hard. Like the brakes, like they apply on their own. Whereas in the past, I could go through these turns, it's really, whatever, like I'm just driving normal, but this car just keeps slowing itself down. That's worth me replacing these tires again. Only had these tires for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have to eat the cost. That's another $450 that could be gone towards the actual correct tires. No, look at this. It's just undrivable, and it's just very, very sketchy. The ground is dry, so what solution had come to mind was to rotate the tires and put the new ones in the front. And now I'm just gonna hope that the traction control doesn't work. I'm gonna hope that the traction control doesn't kick in. It doesn't have to work, right? And all I'm gonna have to worry now is like the sidewall flex on the fronts. Like whatever driving characteristics that I'm having in the rear, the car picks up. Now these driving characteristics are gonna go and put themselves in the front. Oof. It's just very unlike this car. There's no way I could keep driving the car in this manner and expect the ABS or the traction control kicking in to be a normal thing. So this step I didn't record, but I'm going to show you how to get to this menu. It's really easy. You hit your home key, go to service, and you hit wheel and tire configuration, tires, and it already did it. So it's gonna ask me to update complete, limit hard acceleration in the first few minutes of driving to ensure calibration. So when I'm driving, ABS kicks in, anti-lock brake kicks in, traction control kicks in, and I'm driving normal, speed limit, making a smooth turn, and it would jolt the car. On the freeway, driving in a straight line, the rear end would have lateral movement, as if the sidewall had a lot of lateral flex. And I was bummed out because I spent almost $500 on 2 tires installed, no warranty, mind you. And I needed the car to drive fine, because I drive the car every day. It's my daily driver. And I'd asked my vendor to inquiry about why that issue was happening, and he said that it should be fine. He's been researching, looking at reviews, and they've all been fine and whatever. So we had decided we're going to put the front tires in the rear brand new tires in the front, and the car immediately was perfect. No more issues. Not a single issue has happened since then with ABS and traction control. Now that leads to a problem. The rear tires now are the older original tires, and the front tires are the newer ones. Newer ones with more tread, rear ones are just going to continue to get worn. So the difference in thread height is very significant. It would have been fine if I had kept them rotated, they would have worn evenly, but now they didn't. So now I had this issue where it would say rotate tires or whatever the hell, but this specific code was just like a caution, and it said may be affected. I thought nothing of it, and I ignored it, which came to be a biggest mistake, because now the maximum battery charge is reduced. Now, it's not that it reduced, it's also reducing the rate of charge. So 30 miles an hour, 8 kilowatts. It's nothing. 8 kilowatts? Usually it's at 230. So this should be a 15-minute charge. And it's been sitting, usually that number goes up to like $5. You know, this would take like a $25 charge in the middle of the day, peak hours. Earlier today, I began with 80 miles. And I drove not 80 miles, maybe 15, maybe 20. Going from my mom's house to Tampa right here in Northridge, it had consumed about 50 miles of range from 80 to 30. And that is not 50-mile drive. So I have to wait here for an hour to charge. This should have been a 50-minute top-up charge. So the consuming of the power is a lot more significant. Now, you know what? The battery, I'm sure it's fine. It's just the battery monitoring system. Here's the thing where people are going to get irritated. It's like, oh, your Tesla, oh, it has an issue. All Teslas are bad. All electric vehicles are bad. No, that's not the case. Every car has tires. Every car needs new tires. Now, this being a bells and whistles car, it's going to have a lot of safety interlocks and a lot of safeguards and a lot of dummy controls, because this car is much heavier than a conventional four-door sedan. I want to say it weighs up to 2,000 pounds heavier. So there's a lot more stress on these tires. And these tires are under a lot of pressure, no pun intended. I imagine they're a lot more at risk for tire failure when it's the least convenient for me, which would be commuting to work. I don't care about commuting home because I'm not gonna be on the chopping block if I get home, you know, 5 minutes past whatever. But going to work, let's say I'm driving on the 405 and I'm going to work, and then something happens and then bam, my tire gets some kind of damage. I'm going to be kicking myself in the butt, telling myself I should have replaced these when I had the chance. And I should have replaced these 2 weeks ago. I have already been calling because I had the issues with the front tires that are non-EV rated, and I've been wanting to replace them, and now the replacement is being scheduled for me by the car because I cannot drive this car. Like, look, I've been sitting here ranting on this video and it's only gone up 1 mile in range. It's gonna stop at 50 minutes. It's gonna stop at whatever, and I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna show you how inconvenient this is. So if you have an opportunity and you see a code to change something in the car, you go ahead and do it. Don't wait like me, because now my Saturday morning has been taken up by dealing with this issue. So I've been sitting here parked in the Tesla charging station for an hour, and the range had increased about 10 miles or so, and my dollar is the, you know, that's the amount. So typically in an hour, this car would be at 100%. This would be fully maxed out for the time of use, and all this would be, you know, much greater numbers. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. On 1 hour later, after plugging the car in, 38-mile range, just enough to get home. It's not 38 miles from here to my house, but when I get home, I imagine this to be significantly lower and reduced, and oh my god, and it's 96 degrees. Barilitos and Centenario.